This is a review of the 7th grade homework from last night. We're finding the commissions. This was page 97. You guys had to do numbers 1 through 15, only the odd. I'm going to go through these kind of quickly. So that way when we have class today, if you have questions, you can feel free to ask me. So for number 1, 3, and 5, we had to find the commission. So the cost was $25,000 and the rate of commission was 3%. So what we do is we got to always make sure we remember, change your percent into a decimal. So that means I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places. 1, 2. That's going to give me 3/100ths for my decimal. So here I am ready to multiply. I multiply 25,000 times 3/100ths. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Then I have to make sure I count my decimal places. I have 1, 2, 1, 2. Decimal point will end up there. That means that my answer would be $750. That would be the commission that this person would get off of $25,000. All right, let's go to number 3. Number 3, the cost is $750 and the rate of commission is 12%. Remember I told you, make sure you go ahead and change that to a decimal. Decimal point is currently here. So we're using 12/100ths. So I have $750 times my rate of commission, which is 12/100ths. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry my 1. 2 times 5, 14. 1 makes 15. 1 times that is just going to give me 750. I add it up. I have no space, so I'm going to move over there. 0, 0, 10, 7, 8, 9. I have to count my decimal places. 2 places, 1, 2. 2 places, 1, 2. That means that the commission for this is $90. Make sure you're writing your dollar sign. All right, let's look at number 5. Number 5, the cost was $2,500. The rate of commission is 3 1/5%. Remember I said go ahead and convert this first. So I have 3. I know that 1/5 as a decimal is 0.2. Move my decimal point 2 places. 1, 2. So now when I get ready to do it, I know that my rate for my commission is 32 thousandths. So I'm going to do 2,500. I'm going to multiply that by 32 thousandths. Thousandths. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. 4, 5. 3 is 0. 3 is 0. 3 is 15. 3 is 6 and 1 is 7. 0, 0, 0, 10, 8. Then I have to make sure that I count my decimal places. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That means that the commission for this is $80. Remember again that commission is how much a seller is going to make when they sell an item if they work for commission. Not everybody works for commission. A person who sells cars, they work for commission. People who sell life insurance, they work for commission. So you can find anybody's commission if you know the rate and how much money they made. So let's look at number 7. Now number 7 switches it up a little bit. Number 7 is now asking us to find the rate of commission. So now that means I have to find a percent, because commission is always a rate, which is always a percent. So in order to do that, I'm going to take the commission the person made. In this case, that was $300. And I'm going to divide it by the total cost, the total amount that they sold, or the sales. First thing I would try to do is see what I could reduce up here. Are there any numbers is there any way I can reduce? And the answer is yes. I can divide both of these numbers by 100. That's going to make that become 3, and that's going to make that become 75. So when I do that, I'm now working with 3 over 75. Now I divide it. 75 is my divisor. 3 is my dividend. We know that 75 can't get into 3. I got to put a decimal point. Let's do it in red. But I know that 75 cannot get into 3. 75 cannot get into 30. 75 can get into 300, and I believe that's about 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry my 2. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. Now remember, I have to write this as a percent. Right now I have a decimal. I have 4 hundredths. That's what I have. Well, to convert this into a percent, I have to move that decimal point 2 places to the left. To the right. 2 places to the right. And that's going to give me 4%. So that means that this person makes 4% commission on their sales. All right. I'm going to pick up and do the last 4 in just a second. All right, let's pick up where we left off. Number 9, we're still finding the rate of commission. And so in order to find the rate of commission, we actually are dividing. We're going to take the amount of commission that we got, and we're going to divide it by the total amount of the sales. So first I want to see if I can reduce this. I automatically know I can divide both of these by 10. All right, so that's going to give me 189 and 5,400. So I'm ready to divide. 5,400 becomes my divisor. 189 becomes my dividend. I have to divide so that I can find my rate of return. My rate of commission. All right, so I'm ready. I'm going to go ahead and put my decimal point in here. I think we all know that 5,400 cannot get into 189. I think we also know that it cannot get into 1,890. So I got to try it into 18,900. I'm going to go with 3 because 3 times 5 is 15. 3 is 0. 3 is 0. 3 times 4, had a brain fart, is 12. Carry my 1. 3 times 5 is 15. That's 16. Subtract 0, 0, 7, 2. Add a 0. Bring it down. All right. I'm going to aim for 5 this time. see if it goes in there 5 times, because I know that 5 times 5 is going to give me 25. I'm going to erase this, find the cost right here. I have to remind myself that I'm doing something different when I get down there. And so we're going to try 5 as our divisor, as our quotient, sorry. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. That makes that 27. Subtract, and I am at 0. Remember, I am doing a rate, so I need a percent for my answer. I have to move the decimal point 2 places. 1, 2. My answer would be 3 5/10%, or I can write it as 3.5%. Those two mean the exact same thing. All right, let's go to number 11. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the commission I got, that's the part, and I'm going to divide it by the full amount of the sale, which was $1,250. Now, I could divide this by 25. Let's see. 25 goes into $2.50. Let me write it up here. 25 divide by 25. Let's see. $2.50. That's 4 quarters make $1. Another 4 quarters make $2. And then 2 more quarters. So that's going to be 10. Just showing you how you can get these numbers without a whole bunch of brain power. And then here, I kind of look at this as $12.50 sort of. So 12 is going to be 4 times 4, 16, 17, 18, if I'm not mistaken, is what that should be. So let's see. 250 was 10. Another 250, that's 10. Another 250 is having a minor brain fart, but I'm going to let y'all see me have this brain fart. 25 goes into there, 4, 5. So is it goes into there, 4, 5, 50 times. So I'm going to divide that. 50 is my divisor. 10 is my dividend. Again, I think we would all agree that we know that 50 cannot get into 10 at all. $50 goes into 100 2 times. 2 times 50 is 100. Subtract 0. My answer must be given as a percent because this is a rate. We're talking about commission. Commission is given as a percent. Move my decimal point 2 places. 1, 2. Inside my basket, put a 0. This means that this is 20%. Please make sure you go back and correct all of your answers because I will not go over any of these in class because I have done them all for you right now. All right, let's go to the next section. Now in this section, we're actually finding the cost of the item. Okay? Finding the cost of the item. And in order for us to find the cost of the item, we are going to divide again, but I'm going to show you that again, I need to go ahead and make my commission be a decimal. 1, 2. So that becomes my divisor. So I have 500s going into 50. Please, please, please don't forget that you cannot have this decimal point out here. 1, 2, 1, 2. So this changes the whole problem. The problem now becomes 5 into 5,000. 5 goes into 5 one time. Bring down your 0. Doesn't go in there at all. Bring down your 0. Doesn't go in there at all. Bring down your 0. Doesn't go in there at all. I am looking for a dollar amount this time. This means that the the sales on this person actually sold $1,000. Okay, y'all are 7th grade. I do not feel like I should have to divide out all those zeros. All right, let's hit our last one. The commission was $219. The commission payout was $219. The rate of commission is 1.5%. I'm going to go ahead and change that to a decimal. You should know that 1.5% is the same as 1 5/10%. Move your decimal point 2 places to the left. I'm ready to divide now. So as my divisor, I have 15 thousandths. And for my dividend, I have 219. Please, please, please don't forget you cannot have a decimal in your divisor. Not if you're doing this by hand. We move that decimal point 1, 2, 3 places. 1, 2, 3 places. Put your zeros inside of your basket so you don't get jacked up later. So here we go. I have 15 as a divisor now, going into 219,000. Well, 15 goes into 21 one time. That's 15. I subtract, that's 6. Bring down my 9. 15 goes into 69. I believe it is 4 times. That's going to give me 60. Subtract, I have 9. Bring down that 0. 15 goes into 90. He goes in there 6 times. Had a brain fart. That's going to give us 90. Bring down this 0. It goes in there 0 times. Bring down this 0. It goes in there 0 times. That means that this person sold. Oh, let me do it in the right color. $14,600. That was the sale. That's how much the product, how much of a product they sold. So go over your homework, check, redo them if you need to. Your assignment to do for math today is actually going to be the same page, not page 97. And then this time you guys are going to do the even. If there is something you really, really have a question about during class today, you can ask me, but I'm only going to spend no more than 10 minutes on math. Okay? This is your video. Go over it. Watch it as many times as you need to. Pause it. But you're not going to be able to ask me many questions today. All right. I'll see you guys at, our appointed time.